Good morning, everyone. In the last session, we discussed regarding the ionization enthalpy, atomic radius, ionic radius. So, in atomic and ionic radius, we discussed regarding the first transition series. Here, the second transition series as well as third transition series. If you see, they are having the similar atomic and ionic radius because the intervention of 4f orbitals which must be first filled before the 5d orbitals in case of third transition series, it leads to a regular decrease in its atomic as well as ionic radii, and this contraction we call it as a lanthanide contraction. Since this third series undergoes a lanthanide contraction, hence the second as well as third series they are having the similar atomic as well as ionic radius. This lanthanide contraction here, the intervention of filling of first 4f orbitals than the since first 4f orbitals are filled than the 5d orbitals. Because of this, there is a steady decrease in the atomic as well as ionic radius takes place. In case of the third transition series in the lanthanide elements. Hence, this contraction is known as the lanthanide contraction. Because of filling of first 4f orbitals than the 5d, there is a regular decrease in the atomic and ionic radius in case of the third transition elements, and this steady decrease in atomic and ionic radius is known as lanthanide contraction. Because of lanthanide contraction, the second as well as third transition series, they are having a similar atomic as well as ionic radius. In the last class, we discussed regarding the ionization enthalpy. Here, when an electron is removed, here if we take 3d as well as 4s option, if we remove an electron, here what happens? There is a change takes place in their energy levels. You know that here 3ds 4s they are having comparable energies. After removal of one electron, the energy level changes. Here, if one electron is present in 4s after removal, one more electron if it is present, it is transferred to 3d. If it is 3d 9, it is converted into 3d 10, 4s becomes 4s 0. Why the transfer of electrons takes place from 4s to 3d? Because to complete its completely filled orbits, to attain the stability here, one of the electron is transferred from 4s to 3d. It is like it will become d to the power of n configuration. When the transfer of electrons takes place from one orbital to the another orbital during this reorganization, there is a small energy is released, and this energy released, it is known as exchange energy. What is exchange energy? During the reorganization of electrons, energy is released, and this energy it is known as exchange energy. In one more question you get what is exchange energy. Next comes here the melting point as well as the boiling point. If you see the melting point as well as the boiling point, here the melting point and boiling point of a third transition series are greater than compared with the S as well as P block elements. This melting point and boiling point mainly based upon their interaction, metallic interaction. This D block elements, it contains here unpaired electrons from both the orbitals. That is, here they are involved from S orbital as well as D orbitals. Since the unpaired electrons are contributed from both S as well as D orbitals, here the number of unpaired electrons will be greater. More the number of unpaired electrons, here stronger will be the metallic interaction. Because of more number of unpaired electrons, it is having strong metallic interaction here. Hence, its strength is strong. So, its melting point and boiling point also will be high. In case of d block elements, here in the chemical reaction, both s electrons as well as d electrons are involved. The s electrons as well as d electrons. Here d electrons from n minus 1 d, along with this the electrons are contributed from the ns. Because of both the orbitals contributes for the number of unpaired electrons here, there are greater number of unpaired electrons. Hence, they are having strong metallic bond. The strong metallic bond is due to the contribution of both the orbital n minus 1 d orbital as well as ns orbital. Hence, they are having strong metallic bond. When it is metallic bond is strong, here its melting point and as well as its boiling point also it will be high. If you see this first transition element, second as well as third transition elements, what happens initially as the number of electron goes on increasing, here unpaired electrons will be maximum at the middle when it is having a d5 configuration. After d5 configuration, after the middle, here number of unpaired electrons decreases. Here, why the number of unpaired electrons decreases after the middle? You know that as 5 electrons, unpaired electrons for d5 here, for the middle atom element will be 5 number of unpaired electrons. After this, what happens here? d6 means pairing of electrons takes place. After d5 configuration, due to the pairing of electrons takes place here, the number of unpaired electrons goes on decreasing. So it is the element at the middle, it is having maximum unpaired electrons. Later on, due to the pairing here, the number of unpaired electrons goes on decreasing. More the number of unpaired electrons, stronger will be the metallic bond and its melting point and boiling point also it will be very high. So if you see this graph here, this is a melting point in terms of Kelvin. So initially there is increase in melting point up to the middle, except two elements, that is manganese and technetium. Here if you see this one, after this chromium, here there is a continuous decrease in the melting point. Because after the middle there is a pairing of electrons takes place in d orbitals, hence the number of unpaired electrons goes on decreasing. Hence here the melting point also decreases after the middle. It is maximum at the middle then decreases. In case of the first transition element as well as in case of the second transition element. Except two elements. The two elements here, exceptional case is the manganese and technetium. Here these two are having, instead of high melting point, they are having low melting point. Because the reason is because they are having low enthalpy of atomization. Because of its low enthalpy of atomization, they are having low melting point than compared with the other elements. There is a decrease in melting point only in case of manganese and technetium instead of increasing because of low enthalpy of atomization. Here, the last element, that is pseudo transition element, zinc, cadmium and mercury. The pseudo transition elements, they are having low melting point as well as boiling point. The low melting point as well as boiling point is due to the weak metallic interactions. Since these elements are having completely filled d as well as s orbitals, there is no any unpaired electrons only. When there is no unpaired electrons, there is a weak metallic bond takes place. Hence, these elements, pseudo transition elements, zinc, cadmium and mercury, they are having low melting point as well as boiling point. Here the melting point and boiling point are because it should contain the unpaired electrons. If it does not contain unpaired electrons, then its melting point and boiling point will be low. After this melting point and boiling point, next comes here the enthalpy of atomization. Enthalpy of atomization. These transition elements, they are having high enthalpy of atomization, but the increase in enthalpy of atomization is not regular. Here, if you see the enthalpy of atomization, first transition elements, it increases up to the middle. Similarly, second transition element also increases up to the middle, and then it goes on decreasing. Here, the increase in the middle, why it increases? Because here the number of unpaired electrons per d subshell is maximum at the middle. When the number of unpaired electrons is maximum at the middle, here there is a more number of bonds forms. Greater the number of bonds, more will be its metallic interaction. Hence, here it is having maximum enthalpy of atomization at the middle. Later on it decreases. The enthalpy of atomization, it depends upon the number of unpaired electrons. Since at the middle it is having maximum number of unpaired electrons, here the formation of bonds also will be high. Then when the formation of bonds are also more here, its strength is also high. Its enthalpy of atomization also will be greater. Here the enthalpy of atomization of metals is determined by the electrode potential of metals. The metals with high electrode potential, they are having high enthalpy of atomization. Metals with high enthalpy of atomization, they are having high melting point. Compared with the first transition elements, the second as well as third transition elements, they are having high enthalpy of atomization. After enthalpy of atomization, next comes here its oxidation state. Oxidation state. These d block elements, they exhibit the variable oxidation state. Here the reason behind the variable oxidation state is because they are having comparable energies. D as well as S subshell, since they are having both similar energies, hence there is number of unpaired electrons also will be more here, and its oxidation state also will be high here. This exhibits variable oxidation state because of these comparable energy level of both D as well as S orbital. And in the chemical reaction also, both the electrons are involved. D electrons also involved as well as S electrons also involved. If you see the general oxidation states of D block elements, the general oxidation state of D block elements is blessed. Here, the D block elements exhibit both type of oxidation, high oxidation state as well as low oxidation state. If you see the elements, first transition series, scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, copper, nickel, copper and zinc. Here if you say scandium, it exhibits oxidation state of +3. Titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper exhibit both +1 as well as +2. Zinc will be +2. Titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, they exhibit +3 here, whereas this exhibit here Here, if you see the oxidation state from scandium to the zinc, except the scandium, all these elements they exhibit the +2 as its oxidation state. Hence, the common oxidation state here for the first row transition element is +2. Scandium exhibit only +3 as its oxidation state. When you move from scandium to the manganese, here from scandium to the manganese, the oxidation state goes on increasing. Manganese is having a high oxidation state of +7. Later on there is a decrease in the oxidation state. Here, because up to the manganese there is a more number of unpaired electrons which is contributed from both the d as well as s orbital. Hence, manganese exhibit the highest oxidation state of +7. When you see this is along the series, that is along the period. If you see down the group here, down the group from top to bottom, here oxidation state also increases. Here the lower oxidation state, the elements with low oxidation state, they are ionic compounds. If you take scandium here, scandium, what is the oxidation state for scandium? Scandium exhibit oxidation state of +3 here. Because it readily loses electrons, it is oxidation state is +3. Its electronic configuration is argon 3d1 4s. Scandium readily loses 3 electrons and attains oxidation state of +3. Because after losing 3 electrons, it attains a stable noble gas configuration as that of the argon. To attain the stability, it readily loses 3 electrons. And lower oxidation state generally are ionic compounds. If you take the zinc here, zinc also exhibits stable. Here it is stable by losing 2 electrons. Zn, it is argon 3d10 4s2. After losing 2 electrons, Zn will attain stable configuration, argon 3d10. Since it is stable with completely filled d orbital, zinc readily loses electron to attain the stability. Here, some of these elements also exhibit the high oxidation state. Here, when you compare the first transition, second and third transition, here the heavier elements, that is second and third transition series, they are very stable with high oxidation state than compared with the first transition elements. If I take example for chromium, chromium exhibit oxidation state of +6, as well as molybdenum exhibit oxidation state of +6, as well as tungsten also oxidation of +6. Among these three, these are heavier members, these are very stable with high oxidation state. The elements, heavier elements with high oxidation state are more stable than these first transition elements with the same oxidation state. Chromium, it forms as a dichromate and acts as an oxidizing agent. Whereas this vanadium as well as tungsten as well as molybdenum, here it does not form MoO3 as well as WO3 in the acidic medium. Whereas chromium in acidic medium forms dichromate and acts as an oxidizing agent. These are very stable. Heavier members with high oxidation are more stable than the first transition elements. And here the first transition elements with a low oxidation state like iron as well as nickel, they generally form a complexes. Iron will form a complex of FeCO5. Here they form a complexes and their iron element is having a pi electron donor as pi electron donor as a ligand. It also forms a complexes. Nickel also forms a complexes of the type NiCO4. Low oxidation elements generally form the complexes with pi electron These are pi electron donating ligands. After this oxidation state, next comes here the magnetic properties. Here, deep-locked elements exhibit magnetic properties. Generally, more are the paramagnetic elements. Even it exhibits diamagnetism also, but maximum is paramagnetic in nature. Deep-locked elements exhibit diamagnetic, paramagnetic as well as ferromagnetic substance. Many are paramagnetic substance. What is this diamagnetism here or diamagnetic substance? If a substance, it is or an element, it is placed in a magnetic field. If it gets repelled by the magnetic field, then the substance is known as diamagnetic substance. If the substance, if it is placed in a magnetic field and if it is attracted by the magnetic field, then that substance or element is known as paramagnetic substance. An element or an substance, if it is more attracted by the magnetic field, then it is a ferromagnetic substance. All these magnetic properties are there, all the three are there, but among the three, maximum it exhibits the paramagnetic substance. To exhibit paramagnetic nature or paramagnetic property, here it should and must contain the unpaired electron. If it contains unpaired electron, then only the substance is paramagnetic substance. Here, its magnetic property is measured by using a magnetic moment. If you consider an unpaired electron, here its magnetic moment is measured. The magnetic moment for an unpaired electron, here two types are there. One is orbital magnetic moment and another is spin magnetic moment. Orbital means when the electron is revolving in its orbit, the magnetic moment is known as orbital magnetic moment. If an electron, if it is revolves in its own axis as well as here when it is revolving in its own axis, we consider this as spin magnetic moment. When an electron is revolving in an orbit, it will rotate in its own spin as well as it is rotating in the orbital. Hence, we consider two magnetic moment. One is the spin magnetic moment and another is the orbital magnetic moment. But here, since the orbital magnetic moment, it is not having more significance, here it is cancelled out. Only the spin magnetic moment of an electron is considered. To calculate the spin magnetic moment of an electron, here we represent the symbol for as mu. To calculate the spin magnetic moment of an electron, here the formula is mu s is equal to root of n into n plus 2. The magnetic moment unit here is Bohr magneton. Bm represents Bohr magneton. It is a unit for magnetic moment. In the exam for 1 mark question, you will definitely get this one. It may be 2 plus 1 or 3 plus 1 question. Here they will give you an element. They ask you to calculate the magnetic moment. See, for example, if I want to calculate the magnetic moment, here we have to use this formula. Magnetic moment is equal to mu s is equal to root of n into n plus 2 Bohr magneton. What is this? N indicates the number of unpaired electrons. Nu indicates the nu or nu s indicates the magnetic moment. Spin magnetic moment. You can just write mu or mu s or mu. Let us take one example here. If I take cobalt, calculate the magnetic moment of cobalt plus 2. Here, cobalt, its atomic number is cobalt 27. Here, if I write its configuration with respect to argon 3d7, 4s, number of unpaired electrons is 3. N becomes N is equal to, we have to substitute in the formula. N is equal to 3. What happens here? Nu is equal to root of 3 into 3 plus, root of 3 into 3 plus 2 will be root of 3 into 3 plus 2 is 5, that is 3 5 is 15. Root of 15 is 3.87. This is the value for, there is a magnetic moment value in terms of Bohr magnet. Here, by seeing the Bohr magneton, by seeing the value of magnetic moment, we come to know the number of unpaired electrons. This magnetic moment gives an idea about the number of unpaired electrons present in the given element. Let us write the magnetic moment of some of the elements here. This is very important, compulsory, that for 1 mark even in the competitive exam, they ask you to calculate the magnetic moment. You have to remember the atomic number as well as the formula for magnetic moment. Then you can go for the substitution. If I write here the ion configuration, number of unpaired electrons, and magnetic moment. This is a calculated magnetic moment. There is a small difference in the calculated magnetic moment as well as the observed magnetic moment. Scandium 3d0 configuration here, it is unpaired electron 0, hence its magnetic moment also it is 0. Titanium plus 3, 3d1, its unpaired electrons is 1, magnetic moment is 1.73. If you see from scandium to manganese, the number of unpaired electrons increases. Manganese is having more unpaired electrons, 5. So magnetic moment is highest in case of manganese with 5. Hence its magnetic moment is 5.92. Later on here, because of the pairing of electrons takes place, the number of unpaired electrons goes on decreasing. Since Zn plus 2 it is completely filled orbital, hence its magnetic unpaired electron is 0, its magnetic moment also 0. Increases up to the manganese. After manganese here, what happens here? Magnetic moment goes on decreasing. In the next session, we discuss regarding the formation of colored ions.